What it means is I have no fucking idea.
Festina Lente. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the AM Club, episode 6. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. And please, welcome to the channel. And we look forward to the journey that we will all undertake together. Austin, what is on today's agenda?
Well, it's funny that you say that because the topic is actually in Spanish and I am a black man. So, let's see if I can say this correctly.
It's not Spanish, first off.
What is it?
It's Italian, but that's okay.
Oh.
Hey, look, Latin roots, practically the same language.
You know, it's called Festina Lente.
Not bad. Festina Lente, yeah.
See, does that? Never mind, I can't say that either.
No,
damn it.
You could. You definitely could. Guys, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. But remember, like we said in last week's podcast,
don't be fucking stupid.
There are no participation awards.
And don't be stupid.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that works too.
Yeah. Don't be stupid getting a participation award.
Don't be so stupid that you get a participation award.
You see?
We'll be here all night, you know?
All night.
Crazy, man.
Actually, you'll be here all night.
Ain't none of my business, man. But it is what it is, guys. So, Festina Lente. What does it mean, Austin?
Oh, see that?
Do you want a participation award or do you want an award?
The Spanish and Latin roots are fucking me up.
Okay, I'll help you if you want. Or you can try.
Basically, what it means is I have no fucking idea.
Festina Lente. Okay. All right.
Oh,
the backstory.
With my brain.
Backstory, guys. We've had a very, very adventurous and productive day. All positives. There are a lot of things in the pipeline. You can probably hear it in our voices. Our voices are kind of hoarse and our energy level is a little fluctuating, but we're here. That's all that matters. There are big things in the pipeline and there are a lot of things coming up. And that's how life is. Life is the never-ending pursuit of more. From the moment you are, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to use that analogy. That's not a good analogy. But I'm going to just say that everything in life is a battle, and it is always an uphill battle. Getting up in the morning, even go to the bathroom. Sometimes you don't even want to go to the bathroom. Brushing your teeth, to going to the gym, to taking a shower, to getting to work, to cooking meals, to eating healthy, to being nice to people. It's all an uphill battle. But that's the beauty of it. It's a never-ending pursuit of excellence. But anyways, I digress. Festina Lente. There's a story behind it. Festina Lente is a saying that is attributed to the Medici family, which if you don't know, Google the Medici family. It is a wonderful story of a rise to power. And then also,
check out our Medici reel.
Oh yeah, for Medici coffee roasters.
On our page, ATX Reels. Follow us on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And check that reel out at ATX Reels.
We actually had the chance to shoot for a cafe named Medici.
Right.
Not the Medici family, which basically ended in the late 1400s, I believe. But, yes. Check us out on Instagram. We got to shoot for Medici. Shout out to Medici coffee roasters. Y'all rock. Some of the best coffee around. One of the biggest coffee roasters in the United States. So, that's cool to know.
And also while we're plugging stuff right now, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Hey, he's got big ass hands.
I do. Don't fucking, And this is with the left one. You don't want to see the right one. You know what I'm saying? So like, comment, and subscribe now. No, I'm just joking. Hey, if you want to like, comment, subscribe, we appreciate it. You know, we appreciate all of our viewers. We love y'all and thank y'all for the support for sure.
So, Medici family, also the Navy SEALs referred to Festina Lente a lot. I think on the anchor, they have Festina Lente on the bottom. And Festina Lente means make haste slowly. Also, the Navy SEALs also have another saying that is, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Which is basically to say that when you take your time doing things, it is very smooth. It'll go well as opposed to rushing. Now, Festina Lente, the reason why it worked so great for the Medici and why they rose to power was because you're making haste, but doing it slowly. And it's a kind of a contradictory idea, and we were just talking about this earlier today, that the faster that life requires you to go, the faster that you need to graduate, or the faster that you need to scale your business, or the faster that you need to grow your business partners, you actually have to slow down in order to do that. Do you want to explain?
Yes. So, personally, I am a person that goes through life being very calculated. And though I make decisions, of course, I feel like I take the time to sit down and think about all the alternatives that could happen and choose the best route to getting to where I want to go. So I feel like with business and how you conduct your life, I think that, of course, not too much. You don't want to overdo it and move too slow, but you do want to not just move with all brawn, but with some brain, in what you're doing. So moving slower gives you the time to sit back and, well, not really sit back because you're still moving, but analyzing, what's going on. And it allows you to kind of just focus on whatever it is that you're doing in a particular time, learn different ways of how you could possibly do better going forward, and then continuously grow throughout that process of you kind of going to where you want to go and getting to your goals. And that way, if you're going somewhere, though it might be slower, it's in a more kind of, I don't want to say conservative.
Smooth.
Yes.
It's an efficient
Yes.
manner.
It's a very efficient manner. Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to take this path to this goal that I have, and I'm going to go 100 miles per hour. And shit, you might be going 100 miles per hour for fucking the first 2 weeks of it and then burn yourself out of gas, you're on the road. However, if you have, you're going a slower, more steady pace, you're looking at certain things, you're, digesting, this is how to do this is how I should go about doing this is how I should not go about doing this and whatnot. You can end up getting to your destination, even though it might take you, a little longer. It's like the tortoise and the hare, bro.
Yes, that's a perfect analogy.
Like the tortoise and the hare. Like initially the hare looks good, looks like it's cool, looks like it's going super fast, looks like it knows what it's doing. But at the end of the race, the person who finishes the race is the person is really all that matters. It doesn't matter how fast you win the first fucking 20 seconds of it. It matters who finishes the race.
It's the winner,
right.
Not the loser.
Right.
Like you always say, life is a
marathon, not a sprint. And you said life is a marathon of sprints. So,
take it upon me to just add more complexity to an already complex analogy. Welcome to my life, guys. Yep.
But yeah, you have to realize that, hey, sometimes going slower in certain things can help you go further, So everything is not about getting there as fast as you can, because a lot of people try to do shit fast and make fast money, and most times fast money leads to you ending up in jail or fucking doing some stupid shit. So take the slower, I wouldn't say the slower route, but realize that you don't have to be a billionaire tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to do certain things for some years in order to get there, to get to $1 million or whatever. But, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But, tortoise and the hare, what are your thoughts? I know you kind of lit up when I said that. I think that's something that we've been taught for a while.
I just lit up because I didn't think about that analogy when we were talking about this earlier, but when you said it, I was like, because it just popped in my head too. I was like, nail on the head. Hey, we talked about this last podcast, and you guys have probably seen it. We're in tune. That's a good example of a congruent chess team, I would say. We're playing strategically on the same board, on the same side, and we know the way that we're positioning things and ourselves in something as simple as a speech.
And even, you just mentioned chess. Chess is like that too, man.
Yes. Long term.
It's all about, think about multiple moves ahead, not just thinking about the next move. Like, for somebody who is like, say, the hare in the race, they might just be thinking about, hey, I'm going to go fast as I can, and I'm going to be beating them initially, But again, it's about the long game. It's about, thinking 5, 6 moves ahead. With chess, that's how they do, and that's how they win. And I feel like with life, and especially business, it's not just about getting that next client or that next paycheck all the time. It's also about like, how can I maintain this formula to sustain me for a long period of time? Because I don't want to say anybody can get one client, but shit, you might get lucky. Most people can get lucky enough to get one client or get one partner or whatever. But it's how you can sustain that level of, productivity, or increase that level of productivity and sustain that for the long term. So
sustainability is huge.
Right. So, kind of going slower and thinking about and analyzing certain things and looking over the data that you've collected can help you, sustain in the future. I feel like, when it comes to, moving slower and, more concentrated, that leads to that sustainability in life. And personally, I think that I've benefited from that a lot, with certain decisions. And as you go throughout business, we were talking about earlier off camera, there were certain decisions in life that we've encountered where it was just like, shit, it's either this or this. What's the smarter decision for me long term? Okay, I'm going to go with that. And that might not always be the most fun decision to go with, but it's probably the right decision to go with long term. So if you were just moving fast and just saying, I'm going to go with what I like, what I want to do right now, go with that. That might get you to here in the race of life to where you can see it. However, if you do it to where it's like, I'm going to pick, the smarter decision, I'm going to be calculative, and I'm going to think about, the long term of things and move slow and move efficiently, then you might get all the way over here in the race of life
as well.
Right. So, so that's my take on it. Like, that's really my lifestyle. So this topic for me is very much, something I use and encounter on a daily basis, because that's really how I like to live my life. But would you say that you were always, like that?
Nope. I am in the process of cultivating the ability that this guy is in the process of perfecting. You'll actually notice Festina Lente in my Instagram bio, because that's something that I've come to embody more and more and more. And I think Austin can attest to that. This morning, I was probably switching between 3 notebooks and including notes on my phone, which is basically my attempt to step out of being in an actual situation and then focusing on the situation. And that's a perfect segue into what we talk about in the small business space and even in the big business space, I would say, which is you want to be working on the business, not in the business. Because what happens is, it's the difference between a strategist and a tactician, which we already talked about. I forgot which on which podcast, but we definitely talked about it.
I think that was number
3, because I referenced Robert Greene.
2 or 3. Yeah.
Laws of Human Nature. Shout out to Robert Greene. He talks about how in life, like in war, the strategist always beats the tactician. And so when you're working in the business, and I'll give you an example. So we run a marketing agency, among other things, and if we spend all of our time producing the media that is going to be marketing, whether that be photo, videos, or ads in any way, shape, or form, as opposed, let's just say producing the ads or the media and also running the ads or distributing the media, our business will never scale. We will never grow as a business because our time is being completely occupied and absorbed, and more than anything, our mental bandwidth is in the business. We're just in it, actually running the reps, doing the reps, which is important. But in reality, you want to be in a position where you can be working on the business. So you're not necessarily getting your hands directly into the meat, but you're figuring out how you want to position the business so that, hey, we can go this way. Hey, we can go that way. We can land a higher end client. We can actually start providing these services. Or, hey, maybe we can reduce the cost here. Maybe we're actually overcharging and we want to undercharge. Because that's how sometimes you're going to have to lowball to win in a competition. It is a competition.
Especially when you're starting out.
Yeah. So that's one thing is you want to be in a position where you need to slow down in order to get a greater and more grander view of things so that you can position everything. I mean, everybody knows like when you go for a hike or you travel to some kind of destination with a mountain or a lake or the ocean, you're just kind of just almost this weight's taken off your shoulders. You're caught up in the expanse of, we'll say, Mother Nature. And it's just kind of like things become clear. You're like, oh, I actually don't like my job. Or, oh, this relationship isn't working. Or, oh, maybe I should sleep more. You're like, oh, maybe I should not eat that fucking Twinkie because I'm a fat ass teacher. But basically, it's these moments that are like, wow. And so you need to cultivate that on a day-to-day basis. And that's not something that's innate or natural to me. It's more innate and natural to Austin. I'm more of the person who's like, bam, 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 bam. But now it's like, okay, take a step back, strategize, understand where you are. I call it strategic repositioning or retreat, where you take a step back and you get back at it.
So if that's the case, honestly, that kind of leads me into, because we're at 17 minutes, we can cut this part out. We're at 17 minutes because that's technically one episode, right?
Yeah.
That leads, okay.
Let me add one Medici thing.
Gotcha.
And then we'll stop it and then I'll change it.
Because that goes into my last one, which was like the knowing when to give a fuck.
Okay, so then we'll, yeah. So let me finish this now and then we'll segue. But we should try to keep the cuts the minimal. Mm-hmm. That way people think it's more organic. So we just cut random shit. You know? Nah, we ain't cutting this shit out. We're keeping this shit.
Oh, fuck it. Who cares? I don't know.
Nah, I'm definitely cutting it.
Nah, fuck.
That's okay. But anyways, real quick, to finish it off, I wanted to just give you some insight into why the Medici family used Festina Lente and how they did it. Now, in this time in Italy, there was basically you couldn't stand out. There's a Chinese proverb that is it Chinese or Japanese? I do not recall.
You're asking
It's a proverb. That's all I know. And it is the nail that sticks up the most will get hammered. Something like that.
I've heard of it. I didn't know it was from.
And basically the way, at that point in time in Florence, I believe it was Florence. Mark my words, it was Florence. Florence, Italy. The way, if you rose to fame in a loud or pronounced manner, you would be ruthlessly taken down by essentially the entire republic, we'll call it. Yeah, republic. Republic of Democracy. Sorry, there you go. I'm working in the business and not on the business. I'm trying to figure out the details as opposed to looking at the full story. That's a perfect example. Anyways, so basically, you couldn't rise to power in an aggressive manner that called attention because everybody would turn against you. So in order to not do that, the Medici family embodied Festina Lente. So what they did was they made haste. So they grew to power quickly and rapidly, but slowly in a way and quietly in a way that people did not understand nor see. Next thing you know, bam, they're quite literally the richest family in not all of Florence, but in the entirety of Italy and to the greater part of Europe as well. So essentially, it was like moving in the shadows, indiscreet at night, like your Batman.
So crazy.
And with that, I leave y'all with
the Batman analogy.
The Batman analogy.
That's crazy.
Festina Lente, my friends. AM Podcast, AM Club Podcast. Out.
I am Batman.
I am Batman.